Hello again, everyone. Scoons Comics here with another exciting, thrilling comic book haul! A real one this time. I actually bought some comic books. Isn't that crazy? Look at this. Look at this. Look. Huh? Yeah. Got a stack of books. That's nuts. So, as I've mentioned before on this channel, there's a local toy store, Vintage Toys, and they also sell just a hodgepodge of stuff. Records and comic books, children's fiction, a few random books, all kind of random stuff. And it's the tiniest little store on God's green earth. And it's a converted house, and a tiny house at that. And the guy's got no room. He hasn't had room for a long time. There's just stuff. There's toys on the ceiling. There's just stuff everywhere. I don't go there a lot because their comics, their key books, their first appearance books, anything that's hot right now. If he has anything like that, he always has them out of my price range. Very, very high dollar. But then all his general stock of comics is always like $1, which, okay, that's great. Dollar, cool. He had a big sale. He had a big 3-day sale, 25 cents each for the comics, or $5 for $1. Yes, right up my alley. So I went specifically hunting for, and these books, the majority of the books are organized, the majority. But there's also a lot of boxes that are just hodgepodge, and they're not even, they're under bookcases, they're in corners behind like sets of like He-Man action figures. It's American Pickers. You're climbing over stuff, you're trying not to break other things that he has as valuable. But it's fun to dig. It's a good time. So I went specifically to find, I've been reading The Immortal Hulk. I've talked about it in a couple of videos here. Really enjoying that run. I don't have a lot of Hulk. Hulk has always been a pretty one-dimensional character to me. You know, Hulk smash, and okay, right on, I get it. And I feel that's all the story there is. But I knew that a writer that I really enjoy, Peter David, did a really acclaimed run of the series for like 5 to 7 years. He was on the book forever. But it's a ton of books, and I just never, it's one of those that I was like, well, if I ever find this in the quarter bins, I'll pick it up. And it's one I really haven't sought after. I'm sure I've found some in the quarter bins, I just haven't picked them up. But I went specifically looking for some of these, and I found a bunch. So let's go through them, and then I found a few other really random books to show off here. So let's take a look. So, Incredible Hulk 368, Sam Keith art. I like Sam Keith from The Max and Sandman. I haven't read any of these yet. These Peter David books, I look forward to going through them. I don't have a complete run, but this I feel should give me a good flavor for how his Hulk is. And then we have a real nice Dale Keown cover, Hulk 369. Hulk. Cool cover. And 370 featuring the original Defenders. That looked pretty cool. Doctor Strange, Namor. I always have Namor featured in one of these books. The Submariner's always in my haul videos. I don't know why. Incredible Hulk 372. Again, I'm not going to say a whole lot about these Hulk books because I haven't gone through them yet, but I look forward to it. I got a good deal. 373, I love this cover. He and, I assume Betty, Bruce Banner's lady, having a nice laugh, which is rare. It's a striking cover. If I'd have seen this on the newsstand in 1990, I probably would have picked that up to be like, what is this? What's happening? And 374. There we go. 374. 378. Hulk fighting Santa Claus. I'm all for that. I'm looking forward to reading this issue. 384. And 385. 386. I feel like this was a key book. I haven't looked it up. I remember seeing this cover in Wizard magazine when I was a kid, the big industry magazine. And I don't know if it was just highlighted as a good read or a book to watch. I don't remember, but I remember seeing this cover a couple times. So I don't know. I'll check it out. And then we got 387. So if these Hulk books are good, awesome. If I don't like them, well, then they'll be going to a local Goodwill soon. We'll see. I'm out of room. I'm out of room for my comics, but I just keep buying more. Because you have to, right? You have to keep... How do you not buy comic books? I don't understand. 402. .403. I like that cover. 404. Oh my god. The Hulk and the Juggernaut versus the Avengers? I'm in. That's a cool cover. That's cool. Sorry, got lost there for a second. 405. This is Gary Frank art, it looks like. Another artist I really enjoy, who's doing really good things right now. 406. Almost done with the Hulks. 421. 422, fighting a different version of Thor. That's pretty cool. And 423. And then I got this annual, kind of a slightly risque cover to be approved by the Comic Code Authority, I thought. Incredible Hulk Annual number 2. I did thumb through this one because I know annuals always have like multiple artists and writers usually. I think Peter David wrote this whole thing. Maybe a couple stories he didn't, but the majority are written by Peter David, but the art teams are different. And John Romita Sr., he of Silver Age fame, had a great run on Spider-Man back in the 60s. He is the artist for this, a rare appearance of John Romita drawing anything in the 90s. I think this is 1990, it doesn't say on the side, 1991. So that was a cool surprise, very cool. All right, then I got a few more books here. This one also Hulk related. Wolverine Battles the Incredible Hulk. This reprints. Wolverine first appeared, for many of you know this, in Incredible Hulk 180 and 181. This reprints those issues, and it also has a cool little story featuring Wolverine and Hercules at a bar. First having a little bar fight, and then sharing a beer together. Fun little story. And then it has just a profile of Wolverine, the origins of the character, like who created him and why. It's just a fun little book. For a quarter, yeah, I was very excited to find this. Cool, right? And then I'm forever collecting things of the Spider-Clone saga from the 90s. I'm not even sure what all I need yet. I'm close. But I found this book that I'd never seen before, the Spider-Man Collector's Preview. The clone, the toys, the comics. It's just like sketches and interviews, and just kind of, it's like it came out during the middle of the Clone Saga. I don't know, but I picked it up for a quarter, sure. Then, oh boy, I'm gonna open this one up and show you. So I always pick up these random comics, things that are put out by like Dental Association of America teaming up with Spider-Man, or Spider-Man and the Dallas Cowboys. Spider-Man's always teaming up with something random. Here is Spider-Man, Storm, and Power Man battling Smokescreen. This was put out by the American Cancer Society as an anti-smoking comic book. I have no idea who the artist is, no idea who the writer is. There's no credits page in this. But what there is this hilarious scenario in the back of the comic. Brian's Decision, I believe is what it's called. Yes. And this book's tore up, so I don't care. I'll just bend this back. So Brian's Decision. Okay. I'm not doing it justice. Basically, so we got these young kids who look like they're about 30. In the last panel, these kids are pressuring Brian to smoke, right? So Brian's running through it. His positives and negatives here. Let's see. If I don't smoke with these kids, they may reject or ridicule me. They'll think I'm afraid or unfriendly. But if I do smoke, I might not do as well in school sports, which is really what I want to do. Brian weighs his consequences and makes a decision, and then it says, write in the answer you think Brian should give. What? How is this helping a kid? If some kid is looking at this as like a way to find something to say to bullies, or people pressure him to peer pressure him to smoke, what does he say? He doesn't know. He's reading this comic looking for an answer. Blank. I thought that was really funny. I enjoyed that a lot. Oh, gosh. Speaking of good stuff inside a comic here, wacky stuff. So I found this. One of the guys that watches my channel, great YouTube channel, Charlton66. He might know more about this than me because I don't get a lot of Charlton comics. But this is a Charlton comic featuring Static, Steve Ditko creation. This book features all characters created by Steve Ditko and it's creator owned. As far as I could tell, the copyright's all Steve Ditko. Steve Ditko, co-creator of Spider-Man. Creator of Spider-Man, depending on who you ask. So this book's really cool, from 1985. A bunch of characters and all written and drawn by Steve Ditko. Very cool. But the ads in this are insane. And I'm all about crazy comic book ads. I love comic book ads. But these are just bananas. Bear with me here while I didn't mark them. Give me 1 second to find a couple here. They're so strange. All right. It's coming. I got you. Just bear with me. Yeah, okay. Here are over 100 ready-to-use mystic chants for money, power, and love. It's a whole one-page ad for that. A whole one-page ad for money, power, and love. If you buy this comic book. How crazy is that? And on this other page, we have something for gaining weight because it's, as it very clearly says, skinny isn't sexy. What? Oh, God. And there was something else in here. Give me a second. How to make others secretly do your bidding with the astonishing power of Atomic Mind Command. This stuff you were not seeing in Marvel or DC comics back in the 80s or 70s or 60s. Because I assume they would not want to publish such weird things. But by God, Charlton, they were all about it. I think that's it. Yeah, the rest is just like ninja stuff and how to become a better athlete and lose weight and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, so don't be skinny. And here's how you can control people and use mystic chants. Messed up, crazy comic, but it's so cool. And last but not least, when I was a kid, I collected baseball cards. Baseball cards were my first passionate collecting. I lived and breathed with baseball cards. And we had a baseball card shop in my town that also sold comic books. Comic books I just barely on my radar. I knew they were there. I didn't really care. But I remember this one was always behind the counter. They had a few like nicer books on the wall. I don't know why they had this book back there, but they did. And I always remember seeing this cover and being intrigued by it as a baseball card fan. I was like, oh, that looks like... I know the X-Men. They're cool. I wonder what's going on in that comic. So I've always been on the lookout for cheap, and I find it all the time. It's not hard to find, but it's always more money than I want to spend, you know? 25 cents? My day has come. Uncanny X-Men 210. Cool John Romita Jr. cover. And just something that from from age 8 to 12, I always saw in this comic book shop, baseball card shop. I was like, I would love to get that comic and see what's going on there. Well, now, many a year later, I have it. Ta-da! And there you have it, folks. Eclectic haul, as always. I like to keep you guessing. What weird random stuff am I going to come up with next week? We'll see. But I thank you all so much for watching. Please hit the like button, subscribe, spread the word to others, send them my way, bring them. I'm close to 200 subscribers, people. Please come to me, subscribe, join my wacky random thoughts. Y'all have a good week. See you soon.